Mini lesson 2B, angles, lines, and points. If we have an observer, we'll say they're at this red point, and we have the ground, we'll say it's a horizontal line. If they're looking up towards an object, that is called the angle of elevation. If we have an observer and they're looking down at an object, that would be an angle of depression. We could think of the observer as the vertex, and the horizontal line is the initial side, and then the terminal side is where the object is, the line of sight for the object. Now, if they're talking about bearings, we'll say that a bearing is an angle measured clockwise from north. North will always have a line pointing up like this. Here's an example. The bearing from A is 0, 5, 0, 50 degrees. When you write bearings, always write them as 3 digits. It will be a number between 0 and 360. So it's from A, we go up north, go clockwise until we get to B. Let's look at this diagram. The bearing of B from A is, we look at A, go up, go clockwise until you get to B. That's 140 degrees. And then the bearing of A from B is, find the point B, go up north, go clockwise until you get to A, and that will be almost a full circle, except for 40 degrees less than that. That would be 320 degrees. Here are 7 types of angles. We have zero angle, it's just a line coinciding with another line. We have acute, which is an angle between 0 and 90 degrees. Right angles are exactly 90 degrees. Obtuse angles are between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. Straight angles, a straight line is 180 degrees exactly. A reflex angle is between 180 degrees and 360 degrees. And then a complete circle, a complete revolution, is 360 degrees. If AD is congruent to DF, let's label that. AB is congruent to BC. DE is congruent to EF. AB equals 2, and DF equals 40. What is the length of CD? So once we have labeled the congruences, we can start filling in some blanks. Since we know that AB is the same thing as BC, we can also fill in a 2 right here. Since we know that DF is the same thing as AD, we could fill in 40 right here. 40 is going to equal 2 plus 2 plus something. Subtract the 4 36 is going to equal that something, that CD. Looking back at this would be considered additional information. Here are some properties to know. A triangle has 3 sides, and the sum of the interior angles is 180 degrees. A quadrilateral, a tetragon, has 4 sides. The sum of its interior angles is 360 degrees. A pentagon has 5 sides. The sum of its interior angles is 540 degrees. A hexagon has 6 sides, and the sum of its interior angles is 720 degrees. A heptagon has 7 sides. The sum of its interior angles is 900 degrees. An octagon has 8 sides. And the sum of its interior angles is 1080 degrees. A nonagon has 9 sides. And the sum of its interior angles is 1260 degrees. A decagon has 10 sides, and the sum of its interior angles is 1440 degrees. And a circle has an infinite number of sides, or you can also say it has no sides, and the sum of the central angle is 360 degrees. Now here's some formulas. The sum of all angles for the interior angles is n minus 2 times 180, where n represents the number of sides. And the exterior angles are going to add up to 360 degrees. For each angle for regular polygons, you'd have 180 times the number of sides minus 2 divided by the number of sides. And the exterior angles would be 360 degrees divided by the number of sides. A bisector is a line, ray, or segment that divides a geometric object, such as a line segment or an angle, into 2 equal parts. An altitude is a line segment from a vertex perpendicular to the opposite side. The slope is the rate of change between 2 points. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The midpoint is the point exactly halfway along a line segment. M equals x2 plus x1 over 2, comma, y2 plus y1 over 2. And the distance between 2 points is d equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Label each coordinate point. Find the slope, midpoint, and distance given each combination of points. The rest of the examples will use the points on this graph. The first one, it wants you to find the star and the diamond points. All right, so let's identify the points. The star is at point -1, -2, and the diamond is at point 1, 2. Let's plug these into the formulas. Let's label them. x1, y1, x2, y2. 2 minus -2 over 1 minus -1. That's going to give you 4 over 2, that is 2. The slope is 2. The midpoint will have 1 minus 1 over 2, and then 2 minus 2 over 2. That's going to give you 0 over 2, and then 0 over 2. That's the origin, 0, 0. The distance, let's plug it into the distance formula. The square root of 1 minus -1 squared plus 2 minus -2 squared. So we have 2 squared plus 4 squared. That's the square root of 20, which is the same thing as the square root of 4 times the square root of 5, 2 square root 5. On the last page, first identify all of the points. Pause the video and identify the points. Once you're done with that, unpause the video. Are these the numbers you identified? Next, label each of the points x1, y1, x2, y2. Now practice finding the slopes. Let's do the first one. We have m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Plug them in and evaluate. 0 minus -2 over 0 minus -1. That's 2 over 1. That equals 2. Pause the video and try finding the slopes for the other examples on this page. For the second one, when you get a 0 in the denominator, remember that is a vertical line, it's undefined. How'd you do on these? Did you find the same values? Could you find the same answer if you swap the 2 points? Alright, let's find the midpoint of these points. Remember, the midpoint is m equals x2 plus x1 over 2, comma, y2 plus y1 over 2. Let's do this one together. 0 minus 1 over 2, comma, 0 minus 2 over 2. We get -1/2, comma, -1. That is our midpoint between these 2 points. Pause the video and find the midpoint for the other points in this set. Are these the midpoints you found? Alright, go ahead, find the distance. Let's do this one. Remember, the distance is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. We have the square root of 0 minus -1 squared plus 0 minus -2 squared. Square root of 1 squared plus 2 squared. That's the square root of 5. Pause the video and try finding the distance of the other points. Simplify the square roots as needed. Are these the distances you calculated? Remember, when you're finding slope, midpoint, and distance, after identifying the coordinate points, it is important to double check that you plug them in correctly. That means plugging them into the correct order and having the appropriate signs.